Well, it seems the Epstein Files are not just affecting what goes on over here in the US, because over there in the UK, ooh, things are shaking up over there for you guys. What's going on YouTube? Is your host Bruce GNT, and we're here to talk about the fact that the last half of the Epstein Files were apparently dropped, right? I didn't look too deep into it. I just saw like a few things, and apparently it really like heavily implicated Lord Mandelson that was working with Kier Starmer over there in the UK, right? And it had a huge fallout because his chief of staff over there, right, resigned, which is kind of odd to just resign, but we're going to get into that. So let's jump right in.
The victims of Epstein have lived with trauma that most of us can barely comprehend.
British Prime Minister Keir Starmer's Chief of Staff has resigned over the controversy surrounding Peter Mandelson's appointment as the UK ambassador to the US. Morgan McSweeney said he had advised the Prime Minister to appoint Mandelson despite his ties to Jeffrey Epstein.
I wish I'd never met him in the first place.
McSweeney admitted that the decision was wrong and he took full responsibility. Starmer fired Mandelson from his job in September, but now he faces a political storm after documents suggested Mandelson sent sensitive information to Epstein during the 2008 financial crisis. Starmer's government plans to release emails related to Mandelson's appointment.
So here's my thing, right? Okay, understandable that you recommended him. I guess heavily recommended him, right? But did you have to resign because of that? Because unless you know that there's going to be a total shitstorm coming your way, that's just kind of weird. Because obviously it was a mistake. You didn't know the depth as to which that guy Mandelson and Epstein were when it came to like them knowing each other. You didn't understand that. Or allegedly you did understand it and you had other reasons for recommending him besides just the fact that you thought he was going to be good for the job. Things you got to think about. But this is another video we're going to jump into because Keir Starmer is getting a lot of pushback and a lot of people are calling for his head.
Tonight, a new wave of backlash after the massive final dump of Epstein Files. Britain's Prime Minister Keir Starmer is the latest to face criticism. CBS's MTS Tayeb at our London bureau has new details in what is now a global scandal.
Good evening. Well, the political fallout here in Britain following the latest Epstein documents release has become so intense, there are growing calls for the UK's Prime Minister to step down. At the center of the scandal is this man, Peter Mandelson, a former senior power broker for the governing British Labour Party and an ex-ambassador to the US.
My mother would be proud.
Mandelson is now under criminal investigation for his ties to convicted sex offender and disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein. This week, British police searched 2 properties linked to him, searching for evidence that he improperly shared confidential government and financial information with Epstein while holding public office. If proven, he could face jail time. In the wake of the scandal, Mandelson resigned this week from the House of Lords and quit the Labour Party.
The question is how much jail time, because that could vary. But before we get too deep into it, I'll finish this out, right? I have been looking through the whole Epstein Files case and everything like that because I was a big proponent of like them releasing it because I didn't care what anybody was talking about, especially when Trump and his administration got kind of weird and they were all like, oh, we don't know what you're talking about. Why people still worried about it? Because nigga, you was talking about it. That's why we're worried about it. Besides that, right? So I've been searching through it, been looking through and everything like that. And I'm trying to verify what's real and what's not because there's a lot of people just going out there, just throwing a whole lot of shit out there saying this is real. Come to find out it's not. So I'm going through it and I might do a video, might not, going through like the things that I find the most interesting, especially when it comes to like damning evidence for people, not accusations, but evidence showing that people out here moving nasty. Because like I said before, if people out here diddling and touching kids, get them the fuck out. I ain't gonna say what I really want to say, but you know what I'm saying? But yeah, you see, this is where it gets kind of weird because Epstein was involved with a lot of different people in a lot of high places. So when it comes to, in this case, right, this doesn't seem like it really revolves around, you know, diddling kids or anything like that. It seems like it more so revolves around you possibly are a traitor to your people because you're sharing financial information. I'm guessing it has to do with the UK, with the US, and however that, whatever it may be, doesn't matter how harmless it is, you can't do that, especially when you hold public office. That's a huge no-no. And the fact that they call him for Keir Starmer head, which I gotta be real, I may not be a fan of him. You know, he's not my prime minister, but I'm just saying may not be a fan of him. But people have been wanting him out for like a while now. They find him to be weak and ineffectual and just taking the piss. And as you Brits might say. So yeah, you know, I'm not surprised that they're calling for his head. You know,
Number 10 cover-up, Prime Minister. The fallout is now directly threatening the Prime Minister.
Prime Minister.
Keir Starmer has admitted to Parliament he knew of Mandelson's past association with Epstein, but that he had not been told the truth about the extent of the relationship.
He lied, and he lied again to my team.
The admission has sparked a furious backlash, including from members of Starmer's own party, who are openly questioning his judgment and his leadership. Connections to Epstein hasn't spared Britain's royal family either. Andrew has been stripped of his royal titles and duties over his association with Epstein.
they call these niggas in 4K. And this is what I'm talking about, right? A little off track what we're mainly talking about, but that's what I'm talking about. The evidence that shows like pictures like that right there, that's what I'm going off of, not accusations. I want like cold hard facts, emails, pictures, all that shit. That's what I'm looking for. So yeah, him right over there, Prince Andrew, not him, not this guy right here, but you know, Prince Andrew, yeah. He needs to go. He needs to go because that's some foul shit. Now, to get back to the matter at hand, right? Now it really makes you wonder if you could trust these people when they say, I had no idea, they lied. It's like, really? Did they lie? Because you're saying that you knew, but you didn't know the extent. So it's like, what did you know? You just knew that they hung out from time to time? In what capacity did you know that they hung out? You know what I'm saying? These are questions that we need to ask. Along with that, right? Look, it is not my place to say Keir Starmer needs to get the hell out of there. That's not my prime minister. But what I will say is that, let's just say he does resign. Unlikely, but let's just say he does. Make sure y'all don't put someone in there that's going to be worse. Because apparently that's the running theme here when it comes to politics. Not just in the US, everywhere, where people are just sticking people in places because they really want the original person out. And they sticking someone that's way worse in, and it's just like, oh, we shouldn't have done that. That dude, I don't even call him a dude. He's a monster. That monster Epstein, you know, he's intertwined with a lot of people and a lot of organizations. And the more we untangle this, the more we like see what, you know, where people connect. You know what I'm saying, and who was doing what. There's gonna be a lot of shakeups. Because this right here, yeah, big news. We guys already know what you're. That's it for this video. If you enjoyed it, leave a like, comment down below, tell me your thoughts. If you live in the UK, how do you feel about the situation? Do you think, you know, Keir Starmer is his integrity is compromised? Do you feel like he should step down? Do you feel like there's more to this than what people are saying and everything like that? And not only that, how you feel about I guess his chief of staff, I forgot his name. I'll probably put it on the screen. How you feel about him just stepping down like that? Because to me that's kind of weird. Like, okay, you recommended him, but it's like, why step down? Like, maybe I'm off. Maybe things just work differently. You know, different stroke for different folks. But that's a little bit odd. So let me know how you feel down in the comments below. But that's it for now. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.